So we gotta talk about this bullish crypto trading strategy for Bitcoin. And this is actually a fairly good strategy right now. We're at 106K Bitcoin. We're just gonna hop straight into it. So as you can see right now, we're bouncing off of this support at about 105K inside of Bitcoin. And you can see this is actually a very significant level that we've hit multiple times. Now this is a crypto trading strategy that anybody could use just as long as you follow the strategy and you don't swerve off of the strategy, right? So you can see typically whenever we get above this line here of 105K, we typically stay there for a little bit longer than we need to, right? So as you can see here, as we broke out from 105K up to about 106K. And you can see here that we did it again because we did not want to go all the way down to the support down here at 104K. And you can see after this second time of us doing this, you can actually see that we broke out from 105, well, really 105.8K, almost 106, but you can see we broke out all the way up into 106.8K. So this is actually a very good strategy. If you look at it, you can see the MACD is showing that we're about to go inside of bullish territory. You can see here is transferring to a bullish trade. So that's what we're looking at here with the MACD. Now, the MACD has done this before. You have to keep this in mind. The MACD has done this before where it showed that we were switching into bullish territory, but then right as we almost got there, it didn't want to do it immediately. And you see it went down a little bit more and it was just sideways the whole time until it finally switched to that bullish territory. So this trade right here could turn out to be the same thing where maybe we pull back just a little bit and we go sideways, and then we have that pump that brings us to 108K. That's what this is looking like right now. And even the RSI is telling us the same thing. When you look at the RSI, you can see that we're about to cross here at the bottom of the RSI. So this strategy right here pretty much entails buying around this 105K area. Even if it pulls back down a little bit, you can buy at the lower 105K areas here with Bitcoin. And even if you're doing futures, you can still do this, but you have the risk of getting liquidated with futures. Now, this trading strategy works more so for people who have, let's say, a larger amount of money to work with, right? Because you would make a lot more doing that. So let's say that you bought right now at the current prices at 106, let's just say 106K right here. If you brought now at these prices and then you wrote this out until we get all the way up here to 108K, let's say you're not doing futures, you're just doing regular trading, right, with regular cryptos, you could really take this up 2% from here. So that's really 2.05% getting up here to this support or this resistance area, really at 2.07. So let's say 2.07%. And the reason why I say this is an easy strategy because if you just took this all the way up to about 108K, you got to think about it. Like, let's just say you had 10K and you're making this trade. Well, if you're doing 2.07%, that's $207. Obviously, this isn't a lot of money to a lot of people, but if you're trading with 10K, you can make a quick $200 trade right here, right? If you're trading with 100K, now you're making a quick $2,000 trade. So this is a easy strategy. It's only 2% inside of gains, but it's an easy strategy. That's why I say that this is just an easy money play, right? It's not a difficult strategy. You know, you're just waiting until you get up here to this next resistance area here. And if you also want to take it to another level, possibly we could get up to 111K. But if you want to get out with no headaches, you would probably want to wait and just get out at 108K. Because what if we don't get back up to 111K and it rejects and it goes lower? So you always got to think about that as well. And right now, you know, we're at a very critical space here. And this is the 30-minute chart now that we're looking at. So the 30-minute chart tells a little bit of a different story. You can see the 30-minute chart is starting to curve downwards just a little bit on the MACD. You can also tell the RSI is like right in the middle range. So the RSI is neither showing bullish or bearish movement. It's just showing that it's right in the middle, right? But the RSI could easily start to reverse to the upside here, just kind of like how I did here. When we had that small increase in gains right there, the RSI has actually stopped halfway down. Looks like it could increase by a small amount as well. So there's a possibility that that could happen. And the same thing when you look over here at the MACD, you can see we had a similar thing where we started to turn down here on the MACD, but then it still continued to go upwards until we had that selling confirmation coming in. So there's always the possibility that we could have even more growth here on the RSI as well. But this is, like I said, it's an easy trading strategy, and all it entails is buying in here at these little support levels and then getting out once it gets to the higher resistance level. So just to kind of show what that looks like here, you can kind of look back to what we had back here when we were previously at this level and we broke past it. We had another pullback and then we hit the support at 104K, and then we took and pretty much turned those gains all the way up here into the 108K area. So again, like I was mentioning before, there is that possibility that it pulls back a little bit like it did here and then goes sideways or even a little bit lower to the support. But next time we get around 105, 104K territory, that is a good level to get in to try to get back up to those 108K areas. Now, let's say that we just invalidated all this and then we broke this support. If we were to break the support down here, now you got to start looking down towards the downside. You got to start looking towards where we had support at previously on these areas, and that is obviously around this area about 101K. So we see time and time again that this 101K area acted as resistance here, then it acted as a support here, acted as support here, and then you can see it stopped at the trend line the next time it tried to get there. But right now we are not looking at any current trend lines, so you do have to keep that in mind. So right now our current trend lines are almost like non-existent right now because we broke out of the earlier trend lines that we had previously, and now we're really trying to create some new structure here inside of the prices for Bitcoin. Right now we don't really have much structure. If you want to say this possibly could be our trend that we're inside of, but I would like to argue that it's not really much of a trend, but it is looking like it could be like that. So if we do have another pullback, you could probably expect it to get down here to 104K and then, get another push upwards towards 108K. And let's say that you were to get in around 104K. Well, if you did something like that and then you got out up here at the 108K area, then that's 3.8% inside of gains. So that you could still make money on the way up doing like that anyways. So there is that possibility as well. And again, with $10,000 getting up to 3.82%, that would have you at about $382. So that could be a trade right there as well. Anyways, these are small trades. These are micro trades. These are little day trades, right? Some of these would take more than a day. Like it could possibly be 1 to 2 or maybe even 3 days, but it is a smaller micro trade. If you want me to go ahead and go over some of the larger trades, let me know inside the comments. I'll go ahead and do a whole process, a whole video talking about what we could be seeing in the long term here for Bitcoin. But anyways, this is all I got for you all today. Hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back with another video.